and Beyond with your hosts, Christina George and Renee Chavez, only on GTNWickedRadio.com.
All right, welcome everybody to Aliens, UFOs, and Beyond. I am your host, Christina George, along with my co-host, Renee Chavez. Are you there, Renee?
Yes, I'm here, your personal alien. There we go.
And with the two of us, we're hoping to give you a great show tonight. Going to change it direction just a little bit tonight because we are going to be talking everything conspiracy. You know, it's interesting that so many people, they think that conspiracy theories are just so far out there, but something that I myself have, found over the years of investigating all different fields of the paranormal, as well as following all of the so-called conspiracy theories out there, you actually find a lot of credibility and a lot of connections between things. And, there's just so much that is hidden from us, and that for so long we've just been a nation that has just, whatever we're told is true, we just believe it because that's the way, why would anybody lie to us? But now that we're so far out from, the way we used to believe, we see that, there's just one lie after another. So that is being fed to us through the government. And, Renee and I, we've talked multiple times on these kinds of subjects because, geez, we talk about everything from, the underground hidden bases that aren't supposed to even exist, the sightings and crashes that actually they say never happened, all the different things, but yet we now have access to find out that these things actually did happen. These places do exist, even like FEMA camps, right up underneath our nose. Renee, did you realize, I think you probably did, because I think we talked about this even with our group, but about the fact that we have FEMA camps right here in Sacramento. Pretty good sized one, in fact.
Yeah. In fact, there are a couple of locations, actually, that we have in our dear beloved little Sacramento. Yep.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, just to think about all the different things. I mean, there are bases and all different types of tunnel things right underneath our feet. People would never even know. And we won't say any names, but we know that we have a team member who was privy to some being able to see some underground things that were being done in our area a while back ago. So very, very, very interesting about, the things that can go on right underneath our nose, but yet it's like, hiding in plain sight. These things happen just like these so-called, well, they want to call them conspiracy theories, things like that, but a lot of the false flags that, as a society that we see it, we're very taken back by things that happen kind of suddenly or that are very big, like, a lot of people being murdered, things like that, kind of gets our attention, and it shifts our attention off of other topics. And we've seen this time after time after time where, the world is wanting to know, information, and, here in the United States, we're really putting the pressure on, and then all of a sudden, we'll get some major thing that happens, out there. Takes everybody's, sights off what's going on. People don't really think about it, and, the mass media just changes the subject, and we no longer talk about it, just kind of like Fukushima. That was kind of crazy with that. I mean, you figure we had so much talk about it right after the original earthquake and with the tsunami and with the radiation and everything, and then all of a sudden, they just stopped talking about it. And we had a lot of the stuff here on our West Coast wash up, and not good. A lot of very strange abnormalities in our sea life, a lot of die-off in the pathway of the Fukushima things. What's your thoughts, Renee? And we're going to have Paul Wesley on the show tonight, and he's actually known as Truthchaser on YouTube. Yeah, he was on in my show, Paranormal Connections, on Monday night, where we were talking about reincarnation, past lives, things like that. Great show. We pegged out the server, which meant the show had over 100,000 live listeners. Amazing show. Everybody really enjoyed it, and so we had decided he's going to come on in a couple weeks, and we decided, hey, why don't we just do it back to back, both shows? So tonight we're going to have him. He says that he's having a little bit of technical difficulty, so we're just waiting to get him online, and once we get him on, then we will start talking with him. And he's been doing this actually for a long time, and actually, I just got a notice that he is here. So, Paul, are you online?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, Paul. Well, welcome so much to Aliens, UFOs, and Beyond. How are you tonight?
Good, thanks.
Awesome. So, as I was saying, boy, Monday night, it was an amazing show. A lot of great feedback. What's been the feedback that you've got?
I have no idea. No idea.
Well, I know that on our side, we had, like I said, it pegged out the server over 100,000.
I'm sure it did on your side. Yeah. Good to hear.
Yeah,
Good to hear that everyone enjoyed the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody, we got a lot of good feedback. I got a lot of private messages saying that how much they loved and enjoyed the topics. And, yes, we talked about reincarnation, past lives, but this is your real passion, right?
Yeah, so it's great to be on the show today, and I just want to thank everyone who's tuning in, and thanks for having me on.
Oh, of course. Like I was saying, I know that we had you on Paranormal Connections the other day, but talking about conspiracy or what some like to call conspiracy is actually, been your main focus and attention for a very, very long time, which for those who don't know, Paul actually runs a very successful YouTube channel, Truthchasers, and he's actually has, how many videos do you have? I know there's hundreds of them. About how many do you think are up there now?
All I care about is helping people. You know what I mean? When I first started out, I got laughed at. Everything's thrown at me. It happens. But all I care about is helping people. I really don't. My thing is when I upload a video to YouTube, I don't even watch it. I kind of consider it like if you're like a football player or a MMA fighter or something like that. You have your superstitions. When I make a video and I edit the video, I drop it and I don't even watch it after that. I maybe have done that one or two times, and I was just like, holy crap, wow. And, that was it. So I don't do it. I don't like feed into the ego like some people do. I'm not about me mentality. I'm about the people, and screw the views, screw the subscribers, screw the videos. I just do what I do for the people, and it's just a blessing, again, to be able to share that.
Oh, absolutely. And of course, the views and things, the ego is far removed, but
ego is a killer.
The good thing that about the views and the subscribers is there's that many people more out there that are helping to share the information, and there are those people that sometimes question. I actually had a lot of people who didn't don't believe in reincarnation or things like that, or past lives, and I actually I was wondering how they would those kind of listeners would take the topic, and actually everybody was very impressed with it. So I think that that's good, and that's what we strive for.
Sure. What I do is I bring topics that come from the heart, from personal experience,
mm-hmm.
and and like I say, and I said on the last show, don't take anything I say. Take everything what I say with a grain of salt, and empower yourself to go out and research what I say, or what you say, or what the producers say, or anyone. Okay, but when you do that, then go out and empower other people to empower themselves. You understand? Because me making YouTube videos, it's just it's just a service to humanity. It's a service to people. Single parents out there that can't physically get out and protest. Like I'm going to be doing the Monsanto thing in May. I've got a presentation coming up on chemtrails since we're in the conspiracy. But, you know, and I do this. Basically, I'm a single father with no money, a nice house, maybe, because, I mean, I have enough money to have a house, pay the bills, and that's it, raise my kid, you know what I mean? And I do what I do for the people. I don't take any money. And I have a lot of friends who do, and that's great. But, you know, on a personal level, I just am service to others. And I think that, you know, when people see what I do, hopefully they appreciate that. And the subscribers that I get, I remember when I had 30 subscribers, I was, like, really happy. You know, 30 led to 4,000 something. So, you know, and a lot of people that I see where they have, like, 27,000 subscribers, blah, 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 like, a lot of them, I don't know, I think that they're paid for their part, you know, because you can buy that crap off of eBay. So, you know, you can tell people who just start out and go from, like, 200 hits a video with 300 subscribers, next thing you know, they have 17,000 subscribers. That,
like, how in the world did that happen?
It happened with money. but you know, I'm just, there's not a day that I don't wake up that I'm disgusted with the parasites who are controlling this reality. But there's not a day that I don't wake up that I'm really blessed. I'm just blessed because there's so many people that I've been able to just be with. Like, I have a part-time radio show myself. It's just, you know, it's a phone thing. You know, they call it on the phone, I record it, and I YouTube it. But, I mean, I'm going to have not only a guest I've had, but I've got some really solid, two solid people I just locked in. So, I mean, this is a blessing. It's nothing more than, I don't wake up every day without saying, like, wow, I'm lucky.
Yeah, you know, you have some amazing videos, but you also, you know, you do a lot of activism and a lot of protesting, you know, type work. But, you know, you do have some amazing guests. I know, actually, you're going to be having Laura Eisenhower, and she actually happens to be, her and Dr. Dream happen to be very good friends of mine. And amazing people, great, you know, story that she has to share. So, you know, you know, you've been out there, you know, for a long time, bringing out, you know, all these different topics, and I think that, you know, the public really pulled for that, because a lot of people, I think we talked, you know, a little bit about this when we were on Paranormal Connections, but, you know, there's a lot of people that, you know, really believe in everything that we do, but the thing is they may, you know, not be able to get out there and protest, you know, the way you do, or things like that. So we kind of are also standing up for those ones and you know, doing what we do for those people as well, being that voice and being that presence.
Absolutely, and if things work out good, I have Carrie Cassidy locked down. That's really cool. Yeah. She's kind of like myself. It's just like badass attitude, you know. Yeah. get out there and do it. And she started out, you know, in independent journalism, and
just
you know, it all just comes with being humble. I mean, like I said, there's not a day where I'm just like, I'm just humble. I mean, I'm sure when I go to the Monsanto event, you know, you're going to have a lot of people. You never let your ego, you never let it get to you. Like, you know, I heard you guys had over 100,000 views, and like, you know, I'm just humble with that. I'm just like, let's hit 2, let's hit 3.
Oh, me too.
Be humble with it, like, you know, because there's people out there that do what we do, okay, that are lucky to get 20,000. And my advice to you is, listen, I've been there. Like, I've been there, and it's just one foot in front of the other. Like, I'm not just interviewing these people. You know, I've busted my butt. And more importantly, just being humble, just being ego-free and humble, and you know, understanding how the mind works, and that we can create our own reality. And I think that one of the good examples of that is a great motivative speaker that's from Philadelphia is Will Smith, who I've met, and he said to me, he's like, look, you know, you can't build a wall, okay? You can't build a wall right away. You have to brick by brick by brick by brick, piece by piece by piece, you know, until you get that wall. And I think that goes with everything, with what we do, and you know, you
absolutely.
Can't rush into it, you know.
I mean, I can remember, you know, years ago when I first started the show, and you know, I was lucky to have, you know, 100 viewers, much less, you know, listeners, much less 100,000, and it is very humbling. You know, I feel so honored you know, that there's that many people that, you know, tune in every week to listen. And the thing is yes, it's been on a steady increase since I came to DTM Network, and it's constantly, I mean, I do a lot of work, you know, on as far as getting the information out and promoting and, you know, talking about it in my interviews, all these different things. And it is a lot of work, but for me, it is so rewarding when I can see that I can touch that many people, because I've said for years, I mean, I don't get paid for what I do, you know, at all.
Yeah, I think we talked about that on the first show, and you know, again, to make this short and sweet, anyone who accepts donations or has a donation button, if that's your thing, I have friends who do, then fine, that's your thing, that's fine. It's just something I don't do. It's not a bad of people who do it. I'm sure the producers may do it. I don't care, but you know, all I care about is getting the message out, and that's what we're here for today. And you know, let's furthermore do. That's what people don't want to listen to me talk about my success or whatever. I don't even think I'm successful, but you know, let's talk about what's going on. Let's just dig into it, because we got. You know, I just want to thank
all kinds of topics tonight.
I want to thank everyone. I want to thank everyone who's listening, okay? If anyone is listening, or how many people are listening, whatever. I want to thank you. I want to thank everyone who's listening, and everyone who made this possible for me to be where I'm at right now, because that's what it's about. Producers, you know, everyone, because it's not about us. We're in this together. We promote, keyword, we promote each other. You know what I'm saying? We are in this together, and it has to be that way. Because especially in my profession, I'm out here kicking in doors, having the CIA come to my protest. Listen, I don't know if anyone heard of the NDAA, National Detention Authorization Act. They can consider me a terrorist and come and grab my skinny butt right now. No judge, no jury, no trial in Guantanamo Bay. It's called the NDAA, yes, National Authorization Act.
Let's actually talk about that, because, you know,
it's rough. So my days are numbered. So I'm on this show today. You may not see me 6 months from now. So
and this is that's the dead on truth. This is why,
Christina. This is why we have to be humble. This is why what we do is a blessing. Okay, because like I said, I may not be here 6 months from now. My skinny butt may be in. How many truthers have already been taken out already?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. How many whistleblowers have been killed? Okay, the guy who exposed 9/11. I was at the last. I was at a couple 9/11s. But the last 9/11 inside job I was at, it was amazing. And the guy who was the author of 9/11, they ran in his house, shot him and his daughter and his dog, all dead. All dead. His daughter had a 16, 17-year-old daughter, and they were all shot in the head. They ruled it a homicide, but we all know. You know, he was the author of 9/11, and he was an ex-pilot, by the way. And he was saying that the 9/11 official story was totally BS, and that it was a mass sacrifice. Well, from what I believe it was a mass sacrificial sacrifice by the ones who we call the Illuminated ones, a.k.a. the Illuminati, Illumicore. That's a lot of people don't know about that, but they call it the Illumicore. But yeah, so let's dig into this.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, we have, little by little, we have seen our, you know, liberties stripped away, and the laws changed. And, you know, I've been talking about this for years, about, you know, martial law and FEMA camps and all this kind of stuff. And, you know, people would just laugh because they, you know, look at me, oh, yeah, that's that, you know, that lady said she can see spirits and she's in the paranormal, and now she's doing conspiracy theories. You know, it just seems like with each field you investigate, the public thinks you're crazier and crazier. But so I've been saying this for years, but we're really starting to see and notice the actual presence, because it's really not being hid like it used to be. Now it's like they're hiding it in plain sight, right in our face.
Well, you know, I mean, I've been exposing Fox News for years now. I mean, you know, here's the thing: is when you see what's going on, kick their door in. I mean, take charge. Every media group is fully exposed, and the one thing that really gets me is, I mean, they're all connected. It's all connected, and it's right in our face right now. And this is things that we've been talking about, and this is what we need to do. We need to mix paranormal with activism. We need to mix, and I said this before, we need to mix everything together because, they're going to come for us all. Just because you're in the paranormal field doesn't mean anything because, they don't like free thinkers. They don't like people who consciously are awake. They don't want that, all right? What they want is slaves. When we look at the Georgia Guidestones, it blatantly says they want to kill off 90% of the population, okay, and basically go back to a king and queen type of state, how they had 1,000 years ago, where king and queen ruled, and they can pretty much, rape, pillage, and rob, and the king and queen, they can do whatever they wanted. Hey, you want to get married? Guess what? You're gonna do whatever they want, and that's what they want. What we have now is we have a society now where we've got to a point where we fought for our freedoms, but what they did to offset that, these they're not human beings, these other dimensional beings, what they've done, these negative parasites have done, is that they've given us toys, I call it. So, it's like when you think of how many people actually care that the Constitution's like ripped apart already. And no one knows about it. No one knows about the Patriot Act. No one knows about the NDAA. No one understands about the executive order that Obama has been passing, that Bush has literally raped the Constitution. And see, the way that they go ahead and they maneuver around us and keep us in a state of zombiness is that they say, hey, look, the latest iPhone, the iPhone 3 or 4 came out, and don't worry about going out and interacting with people in the subway. Don't worry about going out and, reading books that would educate your mind. Don't worry about going out and hugging people and interacting with people. Listen, you got an iPhone now, pal. You can sit on your phone and play games and socially network with anyone. And what that does is spiritually breaks us down from who we are. It puts us in a state of roboticness, basically. It takes away our spiritualness. And, it takes away our empathy, our compassion. When I go on a subway, or when I go down to UFO, the UFO meetings that I went to, which supposedly apparently now I'm the administrator of the UFO group in Philly. I just got to get off my lazy butt and actually, set up the groups for meetup groups. But I am officially now the meetup group guy in Philly. The other guy, Chris Augustine, he went on to do other things, but. Anyways, when I would go down to the group, I would notice, I would walk up and say, hey, how are you? And people would look at you like you're insane. Everyone's either got their head in a cell phone or their head down. There's no human compassion. The reason for this, again, because that's what the Illuminati wants. That's what the Rothschilds, Bilderbergs, all them, the big bankers, that's what they want. They want us submissive. They want our spirit to be submissive. Because they know, by giving us gadgets like Xbox 360s and PS3, like most kids nowadays don't give a crap about. And the only thing they know is Halo 3 and Grand Theft Auto 5. And it's not that I don't play video games, but I'm, moderation. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then this is what this show is all about, because they got the FEMA camps ready. Okay?
Oh,
China has cities in China that are abandoned. Looking into that, too. There's abandoned cities in China that no one even knows about. But they got the FEMA camps ready, okay? Jesse Ventura exposed them. And one of the key things that I liked what he said was, he actually went to the White House, and the guy at the White House goes, well, what are you afraid? The green monster? Basically, what he means is, are you afraid of the reptilian, okay? And most people don't get what he meant, but I know what he meant. So Jesse Ventura goes, no, I'm afraid of my government. That's what I'm afraid of. Jesse Ventura has his own program in Mexico. He refuses to deal with the United States because he knows where it's going. He's an ex-Navy SEAL, wrestler. What was he? He was a governor, wrestler, ex-Navy SEAL, and he exposes the FEMA camps. One of the best ones I've seen is when he did that, because he said, well, these are detention centers. You can come in, but you can't come out. Well, they're called rehabilitation centers, and what basically they have that. They have the DHS, Department of Human Services, or whatever, them and DHS, as far as Homeland Security, they ordered millions and millions of rounds of hollow point bullets. For what? Why the hell would you need millions and millions of rounds? Okay? They didn't order regular guns. They ordered AK assault rifles. It's like,
Right.
For what? And you know, I'm just like holy shit, you know, like there's a group in Philadelphia, they're called ICE, the Homeland Security, and I confronted them. Okay, and that was right before my chemtrail protest when we had the Men in Black that were at my chemtrail protest, and it's just ridiculous because again they don't want free thinkers. You know what's going to happen is it's a little thing called problem reaction solution. They're going to create a problem. Okay, 85% of the population that are zombies are going to be like, okay, we're going to leave them alone. Now the other 15% free thinkers like us, we're already targeted. You know, we're talking about parasites that already have dark matter technology and, you know, tech that's way beyond what we can imagine. So we're already pinpointed. But what they're going to do is they're going to put the zombies on the side. They're going to be the ones that continue to collect welfare and continue to work and continue to be zombie land slouches. And they're going to go ahead and they're going to round us up. They're either going to... It's Nazi Germany all over again. And people say, well, how can you say that? Well, the media is controlled. You're not going to see it on the media. You're going to hear some BS story about how a big staged false flag event happened, and then you're going to hear that a bunch of terroristic threats within America tried to cause some problems, and they were all ordered off. That's what you're going to get.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And, you know, not only have they, you know, purchased all of the bullets, but they have also fully stocked and staffed all of these locations as well. So it's, you know, if before they were just trying to say, oh, well, we just have these in case we ever needed them. They're not staffed, they're not activated, blah, blah, blah.
What would you need them for? And I'm going to get a little crazy on the show tonight, because this is
that's fun. Yep,
so I hope everyone's ready. This ain't paranormal night tonight. This is in your face. Protect your family. Understand the reality that we're faced with tonight. Okay, everybody. And
absolutely.
You know, because my family's in danger. You know, your family's in danger. The host that's running this, if she or he has a family, listen, they're gonna come for everybody. You understand? Like, and people that say, well, I'm just gonna pretend this isn't happening. I'm just gonna sit back and play the harmonica and play the flute. No, because once they get us, you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna come and they're gonna raid your farm. They're gonna come and they're gonna raid your you know, your a GMO garden, and you're a free thinker. They don't want that. They're parasites.
Well, interesting enough, I was just skimming.
Everybody has to chip in. Now's not the time to be a crybaby. Everyone has to chip in.
Well, and it's starting to affect everybody because I was looking at, you know, different news articles and stuff that was online, and it was talking about how, you know, this couple and their family just got arrested because they had an actual garden out in their backyard.
It's freaking insanity. Listen, I never believed, that people, when they say about the helicopters that fly around,
right?
I thought that was total BS. You know,
I know that's true. I see that.
No, this is no bullshit. Like, I was with my oldest daughter, and we were walking to the pizzeria. She listens to my show, so she'll hear this. We were walking to the pizzeria, and I put my finger up, and she goes, Dad, and I said, what? The helicopter came down. Okay, I was talking came down, street level. We went in the pizzeria, and it was a helicopter there, still there. We walked out, and it flew away. And I think that right there, hopefully, was a wake-up call for her. You know, when I walk, you can hear it. They fly over the house, and they'll do it. They'll do a fly around. Now, I don't know if it's supposed to mentally scare me or you, because that's not going to work. I'm not going to have that. But yeah, it could be where they're just mapping out our area. And I think that's what it is. I think what they're doing is they're mapping out certain areas, certain free thinkers, so that way when they come, they know where you are, where you go, what family houses you go to, da-da-da-da. Well, you're in your cell phone. You know, I keep finally, I'm smart enough to keep my location off.
Yeah.
You know, but...
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that.
For the longest time, I didn't know. I mean, I'm like, well, screw it. If they come, they come. And, love is key. And I want to push this, because it is. There's no such thing as death. We're all energy. But, this reality that we live in, I mean, we have to take a stand, because we want to create the reality of peace. We want to create a reality without tyranny. We want to create and manifest a reality without parasites, okay? So even though I say love is key, even though I say, I believe that. And I believe that win or lose, there's no death, okay? We just get recycled and we come back and do it again. So basically this reality right now that we live in, it's a school. It's a video game, if you want to call it that. And they want to win. They want to have their 1,000 years of tyranny, rape, rob, and pillage. They want that. But it's up to us to say, screw you. We're going to have a reality of what we want. We're going to have a reality of screw you, get out of our dimension. We want to, make this reality of this 6D dimension, and that's why we fight. Now we don't fight because we're lunatics. We don't fight and resist because we're not spiritually advanced. We just understand that in this existence, they want to control it. Now in another reality right now, I'm never on this radio show. I could be on another radio show, and we could be in a 5-dimensional reality. But for right now, in this reality, I am on your show, and I am in this existence of tyranny, and I'm damn sure going to do what I have to do to stop it.
Absolutely. And when you talk about the helicopters, it was very interesting to me because I had always heard about them, but didn't really know if people were just putting too much on it, talking about these unmarked helicopters, because I had never seen them, personally. I went to Oregon, and I actually was on, they were seeing another radio show host doing an investigation, but they're really big into the conspiracy things as well, and had been telling me about how whenever they would go out, they would be followed by these unmarked black helicopters.
Absolutely, and they use drones too.
And so I was like, oh, okay, they're just thinking they're more important than they are, and so
exactly, yes. You got a frigging ego trip, and you just want attention, but that's not frigging true.
No, it was not.
It. But go ahead.
And
I'm not going to cut you off.
Right, they had been up to some, pretty interesting places. City Ranch, a lot of UFO watches, and some very crazy, interesting, paranormal stuff going on. And so when I got there, one of the team members happened to pick me up from the airport, and we were driving to the location where we were going to meet everybody, and we happened to be talking about that, and he said, I turn around and I look up, and he says, you see what I see?
Look at that, right there it is.
And I'm like, okay, it can't be, right? Like, okay, it's a helicopter, but it was far out, so I couldn't tell for sure. And he's
it's up and up, but they have the technology to see in that car, right?
Right, yeah. So we just can't see way over there. And he says, oh, give it a minute. They'll be close enough for you to see what I'm saying in just a few seconds. Yeah. And as we go around the bend where there's this big mountain, you can see them come out and come really low. So you can see it and then disappear behind it, and then as we go on the other side, it comes out the other side.
It comes right, it comes right back. You're absolutely right.
So you know that it wasn't
I know
just
exactly.
something out there that we just saw flying around. Like, it was very obvious.
It was deliberate. It's deliberate. Yes. And again, like, what are you trying to do? You're trying to harass people that are mentally on a vibrational level that you're not going to affect us. Yeah, we're going to be like, holy crap, okay, now this is real, because it really is. And until people actually put their ass on the line like we do and experience these types of things, they're not going to understand it. They're going to think how we thought in the beginning, like, well, you're just an attention, H-O-R-E or W-H-O-R-E, you're just an attention seeker and you're just blah, blah, blah. But it's not true. Because one of the things I don't like is that I do my own research, and I don't like just jump on things. But I've seen it. I would go into the public library when my phone was off because I didn't pay my phone bill in 1 month, and I said, well, I'll just go, social network at the library. Going to the library, helicopter. Helicopter went away. I was at the library for an hour. I uploaded a couple of videos on YouTube. Coming out, helicopter. It was weird. Yeah. Very, very interesting.
We started doing a lot of local UFO watches, and my co-host Renee
sure.
tell you, we started doing these UFO watches. I started doing shows about different things that were going on. We were finding our theories, Renee's story himself, which is very interesting. All these different things, and the next thing you know, both Renee and I start seeing them around Sacramento. And Renee's like, you've seen them like quite a few places, right?
Yeah. Yeah, matter of fact, there were some flying around here today. When I was doing my usual research, I do my Google Earth thing, and sure enough, they're right there. It's like
the eye in the sky.
Yeah, it doesn't take them long to get here. When they know you're snooping for things, they're going to be right there. And,
and I think that. Go ahead.
There's times when I'm thinking about something, and you do a lot of deep meditation, and I have my way of sending messages or receiving whatever that I get, and sure enough, here they come. And it's like there's somebody using an unauthorized channel. We got to circle around that area to find out what's going on, kind of thing. So it happens quite a bit.
And then that's the thing, is that it's energy, and again, everything is energy. And when we meditate, what do we vibrate? Energy. It's an energetic, it's an energetic antenna. And the parasites who were at my chemtrail protest, okay, they were not human. I'm going to sound lunatic, but no, they weren't human. They weren't human. They were men in black. If you research what men in black are, you'll know what that is, okay? I mean, look, I don't think the CIA are human. I don't think a lot of the people that are working with the FBI are human. Because anyone who works for these agencies and wants to literally slow kill the population, you have no empathy, you have no compassion, therefore you're not human. But, I've seen them, we scared the crap out of Fox News, and they, see, people that dabble in universalism and dabble in activism were the biggest threat. Because we're not just waking people up to one thing, you understand? We're waking people up to how the conscious works. That alone is like a really big weapon against what's going on. And we're not, when we're waking people up, like, I see people and they're just like, oh my God, FEMA camps, oh my God, this, oh my God, I need to get my AK-47 and I need to protect my Constitution. No. You need to meditate and protect your consciousness, number one. Because until you understand how reality works, you're not going to do jack shit, and you're going to be recycled, okay? Number one thing is learning how the conscious works, and because when you do that, we understand the parasite. And when we do that, then we can say, okay, now I understand how the conscious works, and then we can go ahead and get into activism and how to change things. So, and that's why people like us, we're dangerous, because we look at these activists and we say, hey, look, all right, yeah, this is what you're fighting for, but understand one thing, you're fighting against different dimensional beings and parasites that understand how the conscious works. Okay, you have to meditate. You have to understand where your mind is. You have to understand about love vibration. And you have to understand where darkness is, because darkness is what's holding us down. All right, and that makes us a threat. That is why the NDAA was signed. Okay, and because the media or corporate bought off, I'm not going to say the word online, but on the show, but you know what I'm saying.
Sorry.
They, they're going to make us out to be villains to average citizens. We're terrorists. That's what they're going to call us, terrorists. People like me, people like you, people like the gentleman that was just talking. He meditates. He knows exactly what I'm saying about the conscious. Yeah. His conscious is a what's your name again, sir?
Renee.
So Renee, glad to have you on. And Renee knows how the conscious works. And through meditation, other beings will try to come in. And I'm telling you what, that's the parasite. That's the parasite. And, we are in an existence right now where they're spraying in our skies. This isn't like, ha, like, you're crazy. Talk about criticism. Like, I've gotten so much. I mean, they staged events on top of my event, on top of the fact that the CIA or whoever they were, MIBs, came. With the guy, if you watch my video, you'll see the white guy, the Caucasian gentleman. He's not human. He has Zeta chin, Zeta nose. He has this pale, non-expressive look. Now the collared guy, he was a little aggressive, which I like, because I like taking them off. But the collared gentleman was he was aggressive, but he answered questions, which was cool. Okay. And if you watch the video, he says, well, we know who you are. And I'm like, well, why aren't you across the street? Again, it's not about us. It's about the people. Why aren't you across the street? with us, I say. And, you know, we have to understand, like, they're spraying our skies. I've done soil tests. I've tested the water. I've tested the rainwater. It's illegal now to collect rainwater, people.
Yes.
Why?
Yes.
Why? You know?
Well,
I mean,
yeah. We know because so many
that's
of
the
us...
question. But go ahead.
Well, yeah, because so many of us were starting to test it. I mean, I can remember talking on the show where I would wake up and there would be this, like, mist of milk all over my car, you know, and every car out, you know, and it was sunny. It wasn't like it was misty. It wasn't a foggy day. It wasn't anything. This is like in the summertime, and it's like we would wake up with this haze, and they would, you know, you could always tell that you could see the chemtrails. Like, it's so bad out there. And so you would start to feel this stuff. And so people started collecting, they're seeing it in the water, and they started collecting it and having people test it. And so the government was like, oh, no, now that's the legitimate.
Oh, we can't have free thinkers here. We can't have low vibrational free thinkers here. Lock them up. Lock them up or make things up about them. Hey, guess what? You know, make something up about Christina because guess what? She's a free thinker. You know, make things, what's his name again, Aaron?
Renee,
I'm sorry. I'm really dead with names. What's his name? Renee's a free thinker. Okay, we can't have that. Lock them up.
Oh, yeah.
We can't have that, you know, and especially in California. I've done multiple shows from, you guys in Cali are great, by the way. I love you. I feel bad. No, I'm apparently connected to the West Coast. A lot of people in the East Coast are like, oh my God, you're a traitor. You're supposed to be from Philly. Why are you repping Cali? I'm like, oh, people in California love me. I don't know. But We Are Change Fresno, we're very passionate. We Are Change Fresno is very passionate about the chemtrails. Sam Chaney, I just want to throw a shout out to We Are Change Fresno TV. Check it out. In the beginning of my career, I seen his work. I said, look, man, we gotta get it going. He's like, I know, we gotta get it going. But, you know, in California, you guys have it bad. The chemtrails are bad in Cali. Yes. It's not smog. It's chemtrails. No, I'm 34 years old. I know what a cloud looks like. And you know what we see now is like I don't even call them meteorologists. I call them weathermen. You know what we're seeing now. They don't earn that title, but what I see now is it's going to be a sunny day out and we see haze. Where are my clouds? You know, and to offset all this, you know, I posted a picture. I got banned from the chemtrail group, and I'm not going to give them the name of on the show because they don't deserve the air on the show. But I got banned from the chemtrail group because I said, these are all crazy. I'm like, these all keep posting stuff about chemtrails. But look, WWE, search it on Facebook. There's so many young kids that are watching WWE. Post chemtrail information there. Post universal UFO information there, okay? Go on Fox on Facebook. Go on, like, you know, the Weather Channel, for Christ's sake. Post on there. You keep reciprocally, you're like swap and spit on the same group. I'm like, what the heck are you doing? It's like, I think they're informants that make these groups up. And I'm not going to lie to you. People who make groups like my group, aliens, anti-government, I don't even know the damn group. You know, I just make stuff, and that's a blessing, another blessing, because I made the group and we're 5,000 strong. It's amazing. But I post maybe once a day, but I give people the free will to post whatever you want. And a big shout out to Joseph because he's an administrator on there, and he's a little more badass than I am. Like I'm lenient, but he's more no nonsense, if you want to call it that. But you know, I mean, these groups that they have on Facebook, they're just swapping spit. Like let's just say a FEMA camp group, FEMA. Yeah, you can post it. You continuously post in the same group, the same thing, to the same people. It's Albert Einstein said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting to get a different result. You're insane.
So basically, all they're doing is just being together in a group where they can all talk about the same things that they all believe in, but it's not changing.
So upset. Nothing. But there's a reason for that. You understand the parasite. And I thank God we have someone who meditates on the show. I don't know if you meditate.
Absolutely.
Well, good. Then we have two people. So good. So thank God because we understand what's going on here. What's going on here is we have informants who are creating these groups, right? And they're fucking parasites. They're victimizing people who really want change. Families, single parents. They want to say, hey, look, come to our group. You can make a difference. You post what you see in your sky, and you can really make a change. And what we're seeing here is they're drawing them all into this little bubble, and they're doing nothing. They're not making change because they're swapping spit.
Right.
It's insanity. And hold on now, and I'm banned from this group. The message I got was, well, Mr. Wesley, I've interviewed Dane Wigington, Scott Stevens, you name it, Sophia Smallstorm. Not to mention the groundwork I put in. And the message I got, Christina, was, Mr. Wesley, we're sorry, but, you can't be in the group if you're going to talk like this. Simple ban me. Because I would rather be banned from that group than submit to your ignorance. Because let's face it, like I said, we really keep putting one foot in front of the other. And eventually, people are going to ask them, why isn't he in this group? Why isn't he in this group? And it's going to make them look bad. It just even goes with, like, paranormal. Like, if you have a paranormal group, branch out. And that's why I say it's like I feel like banging my head against my 50-inch TV right now. I feel okay, it's okay to know about the paranormal, but if we don't empower ourselves to empower other individuals, our knowledge means nothing. I mean, how does this not make sense to you people? Wake up.
I think a lot of groups, because, myself, I mean,
I just get really passionate. I'm sorry. I'm not
people that come in all the time, to learn about anything. But I also, for me, the reason I started my group was really not about anything other than to give people with the same experiences a safe place to go and discuss and talk, amongst themselves without having to worry about
a support group is totally different from, that's understandable. People who have been abducted by aliens. Listen, you can have a support group where, that's something very sensitive, where we can all join and share our thoughts and help each other heal. I'm talking about a group where we all know about tyranny.
Yeah.
All right? I'm talking about a group where we know about every single president that's been molesting these kids, all right, and taking them into these underground bases and taking them to these perverted camps, and what they're molesting all these children. And social services is going along with it, and the judges. Bill Clinton's up on charges now. No, am I lying now? They're perverts. Look up the Bohemian Grove. Google it, I dare you. Bush did it too. Reagan did it. The only normal one we had was Kennedy. He was killed because he was a free thinker, because he wanted full disclosure, because he was a free thinker. That's why he was killed. Anyone who runs any country, the royal family too, they're all pedophiles, perverts. Mm-hmm. They all need to be exterminated. All right? Thousands of missing children in this country alone are missing, and they're all underage. Where do they go? They're either being systematically eaten or they're being sacrificed. That's where they're going. Or they're sex slaves. That's where they're going.
Yeah.
Look the numbers up. Look at the FBI files up. I dare anyone look up the FBI files of the missing children that are missing in this country.
Human trafficking.
And then you look it up. It's like 50,000 a year. 50,000 a year.
Listen, it finally came out, this past year, where the Catholic Church, the Vatican finally came out with the.
I gotta calm down. So go ahead.
Well,
I am on fire right now. I mean, I'm literally disgusted. Right? I just. When you understand how the conscience works, and you have a love and a passion for people, not only people, but positive beings, reptilian, Arcturian, I don't give a shit who you are. When you have that passion and you see, when you see the parasite, that's doing these things, I mean, they're poisoning our food. You understand? They're putting crap in our water. Fluoride doesn't belong in water. It decays the pineal gland. We meditate, huh? What is the pineal gland? It's the third eye. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You guys meditate. You know what the third eye is. That's what lets us astral travel. That's what lets us see things that other people can't see. And they poison our water. They poison our air. They poison our food. And It's horrible. It's even in our toothpaste. You know, I got a cable bill. I got a shut-off notice from Comcast today talking about, well, you owe us $230. If you don't give us $130, you know, we're going to shut you off. I'm going to pay it because my little one, she likes to watch the Animal Planet. She's special needs, and she likes to see the animals. And I like the fact that she gets to see, you know, enjoy herself. But the thing that pissed me off was it said on it, and I have this on my Comcast bill. It says what did it say? We understand that you rely on us for what is it? We understand that you rely on us for a great experience and normalcy, or something like that. It was really insulting. I'm going to Facebook this. And I looked at the bill, and this is what the bill said, because they were going to shut me off if I didn't pay them $130, $40, which I'm going to pay them. But, you know, on the bill it said, this is the system that we live in, okay? It said,
like backhanded way.
Right. We understand that we are your entertainment and that you rely on us and need us for blah, blah, blah. You know, and I looked at the bill, I'm like, you motherfucker. You know, it's like how to the person that's in sleep state, you know, that their third eye isn't awake, they're gonna go like, oh my God, you're right, I need to pay my cable. Go, oh my God, I need to pay. You know, in my mind, I'm like, you know what? I don't even like you anyway. I just use the internet. You know, I use the internet because I social network, but you know, my kid is the main reason why I have it. But,
to connect us where we need them more than
to rely on them, but I'm gonna send them a letter, a handwritten letter, like, hey, guess what? You know, blah 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 blah. Next time you want to send me a shut-off notice, be honest about it. Say, hey, asshole, pay your bill, or we're gonna shut you off. You know, don't try to sneak in my subconscious mind because it's not gonna work. But you know, that's just a small example of how they condition us. So what does who's the co-host? Do you have anything to say, my friend?
It's just another form of, you know, we're, you know, living in, you know, the whole matrix of everything, that everything is set for the visual concept what everybody sees, you know, like you mentioned about, you know, everybody's got to have that new iPhones and they got their iPads and to draw the attention to look down. You know, when you're looking down like that, that means they're putting you into submission.
Sure.
You know, when you're talking about a slave, you know, slave to the system, everybody has to look down. Instead of looking up or looking eye to eye to people around you, it's just to, you know, to keep us caught up in this whole matrix of thing of submission.
Sure.
To your device, to your entertainment systems or whatever, just to keep your mind watching TV. You know, you get blasted by commercials, more control there. Everything that's there is just a form of control.
Well, who do you think they are? Who do you think they are? I mean, do you think they are interdimensional beings? Do you think they're human beings? Do you think they're negative beings?
I think some are actually interdimensional. Some are actual extraterrestrial type 2 that are.
Now we're getting somewhere.
So they have a
speak the truth. Don't be afraid. This is conspiracy.
We are very open here.
Yes, be open. I like what he said. Like, yes, they are interdimensional beings.
Correct. With them all working together alongside of our government. And the thing is that, you know, people just have just such a small amount that they're just starting to learn, you know, and learning all the lies. So it's starting to make them question everything. And the more that people start to question, the more things don't make sense.
And thus, that's why they have the FEMA camps and the Rambo.
Absolutely, and they're ready for it.
Because that's the thing. See, these parasites understand that death does not exist. You know, they understand that we're all energy. So they figure, well, hey, look, we're going to have our utopia of slaves one way or another. You know, if we're just going to sit back, give you the internet, give you social network, and we're going to sit back and see how many of you are awake. And then when we do, bam, you're gone. And I would rather be gone. You know, sword to shield. I mean, actually, you know, that's how I feel. I got very emotional towards the end of the last show with the co-host of that last show. Renee?
Well, I think, Renee.
Renee, were you on last show?
No, he wasn't on Mondays, but he was in the chat room.
No, I wasn't.
Renee's actually is part of my core investigative team with my group, and he's the one of my lead investigators for the UFO division of.
Oh, check that out. That's pretty cool. And you know, I got very passionate on the end of the last show, and I still stand the same. I mean, they know there is no such thing as death. So I mean, how bold are we as individuals willing to go? I mean, you know, look at the radiation from Fukushima. Not even on the news.
Absolutely.
Right. Renee, how do you feel? How do you feel about this, Renee? How do you feel about this? You guys want to give me some airtime? Come on, please.
Yeah. I know it's been going on for ever since it happened, and I know how the Japanese government deals with situations like that. And I got to tell you the whole truth. They don't even tell their own people the whole truth. They just have a habit of so-called protecting their honor, which they call honor. The embarrassment, because even Russians were like that when their power plant leaked, and so they try to say we're okay, we don't need no help, everything's fine, we got it under control, kind of thing. So they just want to make sure that everything's shut down, everybody's not to talk about it anymore. So then it just gets slipped under the rug again.
Under the rug, right?
And I don't even feel that it has anything to do with the Japanese not wanting us to know. Our government doesn't want us to know.
Absolutely. Well, listen, you are on the West Coast. Last April, it was where the radiation. Well, they say last April was when the radiation hit the West Coast. I'm talking off your water.
You have no idea how bad it's been. You have no idea. Like I have been watching it from the day one. And when stuff started washing up, nobody was even talking about it. And as soon as it would hit, one of these little small newspapers or whatever, it would disappear. You wouldn't hear anything about it. No, not only was there all kinds of stuff being washed up, but we also had all kinds of die-off of all kinds of sea life. We're having mass deformations of wildlife.
Of the fish? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, we don't want, oh my gosh, we've had a lot of, truth seekers out here who have actually from anywhere from California coast all the way up through to Alaska. And all the way up the coastline, they are having things are so high in radiation, readings, but we're not, again, hearing anything about it because if the powers that be don't want this to be told to them,
excuse me, hey there, host. You mean the parasites?
It's all the same.
You mean the parasites that illuminated ones? Yeah.
The illuminated ones that think they're illuminated, but it's.
Well, hey, they got their underground bases. They've been shipping food in these underground bases for years now. I mean,
absolutely.
This is nothing new. Oh, and they've got all they've got all the children they've been stealing too. The perverts. They've got them down there too.
And not even just the children, but we've heard stories here on my show where there's been stories of people that are homeless that are being taken and used for experiments and
yeah, well, absolutely. But they get their high off of torturing the children. That's what they do. I'm not going to listen. I'm not going to candy coat it. I'm not going to candy coat it tonight because that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. There was a clip with Obama years ago, and he was in a limo, and he had a little kid. It was a blonde-haired, blue-eyed kid. Oh God, I wish I had the clip. I'm going to Google this again, and he was in the limo, and it was like he was trying to make himself seem like a cool president. He had the little kid in the limo. And he's like, oh, well, how's it feel to be with the president? And he had the kid, like, on a cell phone calling his mom was on the speaker. If that even was his mom. Hey, Mom, I'm with the president. And I was like, you've got to be freaking kidding me. Like, what a joke, dude. What a joke. And people think their vote counts. Listen, you're since we're on conspiracy, all the freedom fighters that I know that are tweeting them right now, I've said it once and I'll say it again, your vote doesn't count. They're selected, not elected, and they have been for thousands of years.
You think they don't even have the power. I mean, they do what they're told as well. there's a lot that even the presidents aren't privy to.
Well, the presidents know 10%, 20 maybe, but they know what's going on, but they're just told, screw you. They're on a need-to-know basis.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. People think that, he's the president. He knows everything that's going on. Bullshit. No, they don't. He's a puppet in all of this as well.
I think they know. I think the president's, not to cut you off, but I think the presidents are basically like this. It's kind of like, hey, listen, you're free to do whatever you want. Rob people for their money, buy $10,000 toys, go to Hawaii and play golf. Why? There's an oil spill. That's okay, but you can do that. They give them the luxury to basically do that. Yes, they are puppets. But do they know? They know about the shadow government. Matter of fact, Bill Clinton had made a statement that's gone off the internet now. Shit, I found a small thread. Bill Clinton, and one of the things I can give him some credit for, even though it's a pervert, but he doesn't deserve anything. But one of the things that I give him credit for is that he said, I have no control. There's a shadow government that exists within the government. Now you can Google this. Definitely. You can Google this. It will pop up, but you won't actually get him saying it. But yeah, so there's a shadow government within the government. Another thing is, if you look at Queen Elizabeth, the Queen that died, her coffin is way bigger than her body size. Why is that? Because she's reptilian. Which goes back to the fact that we have a mix of interdimensional beings and humans that are in on this. Okay. We were sold out. Phyllis Schneider said it the best. He said it the best. We were sold. We're sold. They want 90% of the population dead. And they're going to have their fun with us. Well, not with me. They're going to have their fun with people and until that comes. My whole thing is, and I tell people, if I'm going to say live on the radio, let me find out I have a sickly disease, a cancer or anything. Let me find out I have 6 months, and you're going to really see some truth. Right. So I ain't going to say nothing more than that, because for my own safety, I can't. But I will say one thing on this show that I've never said on any show. I don't even need a disease. I can be 60. Let me find out I have a clock on my head, and we're going to see some real shit on the news. And I mean that with everything that's inside of my heart and in my essence.
I believe that.
And I know I'm not crazy, and this is not a direct threat. I'm saying this entertainment-wise. For those who are awakened and enlightened, they know exactly what I mean. So, for those who are listening, I'm just saying, for entertainment-wise, when the day comes, and that day comes for all of us, when it does, I will leave my mark. And when I leave my mark, that's for everyone who has been downtrodden in injustices. And that's one of the things that I've made a vow to myself that I will.
And again, something that people need to actually really, really remember, when you're talking about, how, even though we do have a lot of people like you and I and so many others that are coming forward, we are telling, getting the information out there, they have changed the laws. And they've changed the laws to the point that now our government can go and target any one of us for any reason and pick us up. They do not have to notify anybody.
They don't have to notify anybody. I have family members. For my youngest daughter, I'm a single father. I have people on standby. If I'm ever protesting, if I'm ever grabbed,
you have to have it.
If I'm ever out of my house, if I'm ever grabbed, I even have my daughter. I'm like, listen, if you never see me again, where do you look me for? She said, She goes, Prince Truthchaser. I was like, that's right. If you never see me again, where do you find me at? Prince Truthchaser. I'm like, yep. Every day that this child wakes up, I coach her to the truth. I coach her to love vibration. And like I said, when I said about at the end of my day, I'm going to do a little entertainment. I'm not saying I'm going to be, I'm just saying I'm going to do some entertainment. I'm not said it was going to be violent, but I will make sure that the people who are exposed will be exposed. It's not going to be a violent thing. Let's leave it at that. But, again, they can come and take any of us. But, I have people on standby, so...
Yeah, I'm looking at the chat room, and they're...
But we have to. We have to have people on standby, because we're putting our lives in jeopardy.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and you always have to plan for stuff like that. That's just like what I was saying, is that they can come and decide to, take you and not let anybody in your family know, you just disappear one day, they do not even have to charge you. It's not like it used to be where
that's what I
said.
Absolutely, it's the NDAA. The NDAA. Well,
you'd have 48
ma'am.
hours for them to charge you or to let you go, and now they
no,
have
it's not
to
like that.
And
not like that.
They can just call you a terrorist, a homegrown terrorist.
That's
now
it.
And they can put that label on you, and they don't even have to prove it because they don't have to charge you with it.
They're not going to get
they
me.
They can just hold you.
They're not. No trial, no nothing.
And
they ain't coming to get my ass. Listen,
no, because nobody's going to know you're there.
I'll be dead. You're going to see me on the news dead because I'm armed. I have home protection, and I don't have any.
Well, no. I'm saying for people.
I am legally able to have home protection. If anyone comes in my house, they will be handled, and all I have to say is, if anyone without a warrant comes in anyone's house, unjustifiably, me, you, or anyone, then you definitely protect your family and yourself. Okay? You don't let anyone take you anywhere. If you can legally carry or legally, you can legally have a hunting shotgun, whatever. Protect yourself. Don't let anyone take you anywhere. Because I would rather see a Facebook post, hey, look, a Truthchaser was found dead in his house, shot in the head. Because that's how it would go. I mean, I'm not physically going to say, hey, look, you're going to run up in my house and take me. No, you're not running up in my house. You're going to have to take me in a body bag. Because that's my passion for the truth. That's my passion for you guys. That's my passion for humanity. I mean, I live and breathe and die this stuff. I don't just, say, wow, I want to get, someone on my radio show because they're big names. I don't care about the name. I want to care about what they've done. I care about where their mind is. And I'm the real deal. I mean, I live it. I breathe it. And I live and breathe love vibration. I don't promote violence at any means, unless you are physically in danger or your family is physically in danger. If that is the case, you protect yourself with any means necessary. Plain and simple.
Absolutely.
You come in my house, your ass is going to be dealt with. Plain and simple. That's my dedication. Because I wouldn't have sword and shield when we go back 1,000 years ago. Honor. Phil Schneider, look how he died. I wouldn't have it any other way. You come in my house because I'm a light warrior. I'm a low vibrational person. You come in my house, you're going to be dealt with. Plain and simple. And I'm not being violent. I'm not doing anything illegal. I am just a man that wants to see positive change. I've never made any threats. I've never made any violence, and nor do I promote that type of thing. I promote the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, and I have the right to protect your family, the right to eat healthy, the right to have healthy air, food, and water. If anyone or anybody threatens that, then you have every right to protect yourself. Plain and simple.
Well, actually, let's talk a little bit, about our food and the whole, Monsanto debate, because, we are seeing that, every single thing that is out there, the Monsanto is trying to take over.
It's poison, and I want to stay for the record, I'm not the healthiest eater, okay? I'm not the healthiest eater, but I try. I'm not the perfect person, but I make sure that my child eats healthy. I do not buy my child garbage whatsoever. When my child wakes up, I say, baby girl, what do you want for breakfast? And she goes, well, I want the brown eggs. She wants the GMO-free eggs. She knows. If I want to put slop in my body, that's my problem. Okay? Not that I do it, but I'm not the healthiest person as far as eating habits go. I mean, I like junk food. Okay? Maybe that may be a little bit of a weakness of me. Whatever. I like certain things. Milkshake here and there, whatever. But I make sure that my daughter doesn't have it. Okay? I make sure that, I follow by my own guidelines and my own beliefs to the best of my ability, but sometimes I slip up. We all do, and I think that's a good thing because, we can't expect to preach, anti-Monsanto and eating, non-GMO food and expect people who are asleep to just give up everything they eat and just jump right in it because it's not going to work like that. Baby steps, We have to coach them through it. And I think by me being an individual that isn't perfect, that they can kind of relate to that more than someone just saying, hey, look, I'm just a health freak, and, I'm a vegan and all this, and that's great to be that, but, and that's one of the things that I put on the table, like, I promote healthy living. I stand for healthy living. I put my ass out on the line for healthy living, through protesting, through awareness. But I'm not perfect, and I'm giving you the knowledge, people. But it's up to you to what you do with that knowledge. And GMOs they're all our food, and there's countries that banned it. They're like, we don't want this crap. Russia banned it. Russia don't want GMOs. China banned it. China don't want it. But America's not banning it because America's run by Nazis. They are slow killing us.
Well, and they're making all kinds of money again off of all this stuff. My problem isn't. I do have a problem with Monsanto because of what's being put into it, and it's being geoengineered, and there's bound to be all kinds of issues with that. We don't know enough about what they're doing, and how it's going to affect our bodies after 20 years, our kids, their growth, and things like that.
Not to cut you off, but I know what it's doing. This is why we have the autistic rate. That went from the 90s till now, the autistic rate jumped over 50%. The Monsanto products, the GMOs, okay, these kids are growing up with disabilities. And the Chinese people say a perfect example, we are what we eat. By putting the GMOs in my body when I make love to a woman, okay, and we conceive a child, my sperm goes into her eggs, whatever, but that sperm has the DNA of me, and it also has the nutrients of the crap that I'm eating, the Monsanto crap. Once she gets impregnated, that child that we conceive through having sex, through DNA-wise, because I'm eating this junk, is going to mess the kid up. That's where all these autistic kids are coming from. And I stand for, I fight for them. I've never missed a Monsanto protest. In Philadelphia, and I'm proud to say that I regardless where I go, I would never miss. I could be in Cuba and I'll never miss a Monsanto protest because it's something I'm passionate about. We all need to be, because by 2025, half the population, it's already proven scientifically the way we're going. By 2022, 25, half of the population is going to be autistic. So for all the parents out there that have autistic children, listen, it's rough. It's very, very rough having a child with disability. But I'm here for you. We're here for you. And we're goddamn sure that we will fight for you. But you got to get out off the couch. Take your autistic child out to rallies. Take your autistic child out to events. Show them, hey, look, baby girl, baby boy, I love you with all my heart and soul. This is what love vibration means. Here's tyranny. I'm fighting for you. I'm showing you that, because here's the thing. You're sitting on your couch right now when we're out doing these radio shows. You're sitting on your couch with your autistic and disabled child while we're out at these rallies, okay? When your child's going to get old, when they grow up, they're going to say, Mommy, Daddy, I'm a slave. They're not going to have any rights. They're not going to have any gun rights. They're going to be taught and told Agenda 21 where they can live, what they can do, how they go to school. They're going to probably be microchipped by then if no one does anything. We'll get into that. But, everyone who's listening, ask yourself, are you willing, as a single parent or a parent, family parent, are you willing to answer the question, why did you not fight for me? This shakes me to the core. To have my kid look up to me and say, Daddy, why is the world the way it is? Why didn't you try? Wow. If that doesn't shake your nervous system and bring a tear to your eye like it does to me right now, then get out, fight, because there ain't nothing left. Fight for love vibration. Fight for free thinkers. Fight for independent farming, independent homegrown grown food, organic food. If you don't, and you have a disabled child, you know what I'm saying?
Well, again, and we've talked about this, I think, multiple times now, but,
But even, if you
a lot of times people are not...
get out, do a podcast like Christina's doing. Do something. I don't want to hear I can't. When I was when I started my career at Occupy, I seen a lady with no legs. She was deaf, with no legs, was out with us in a wheelchair.
Well, see, I mean, but that's the thing. I think that, you know, for some people, you know, they may not be the ones that are out there protesting, but they really don't know what they can do. So
absolutely.
I like to, instead of, you know, being upset that they're not doing it, is to try to educate them on what they can do, even if, because people, when they hear, you know, being a, you know, we want you to be out there and be an advocate, you know,
we do.
Get out there and do all of this thing. You know, for people who can't do, you know, physically get out there, they're like, okay, well then obviously I can't be.
It depends on what you mean. It depends on what you mean by physically. I mean, unless they have a severe disability, then if that's the case, and I'm not yelling at people. I'm not yelling. I never have. I've always promoted podcasts, and I've always promoted radio shows. Listen, unless you have no legs, no arms, or you're like 90 years old and you physically can't get out. If that's the case, then have somebody wheelchair your ass out.
Yeah, but see, for me, I don't feel like everybody...
Let's make it happen. Let's make it... Who do you think can't do it?
It's not that they can't do it. I'm just saying I don't feel that, you know, everybody, you know, are the activist type. I think that there are... You know, not everybody was a warrior, you know, back in when we were having to fight, you know, back in the medieval times. I mean, everybody has a different thing that they're supposed to do in this life, and not everybody, you know, even though it may affect them, not everybody is going to be that, you know, activist that's going to be out there and be as passionate as everybody else is. But there are still ways that they can, you know, help the cause. And there are a lot of, like, change.org. There are a lot of different organizations that really work on that where, you know, just being able to get signatures and share the information on your Facebook pages or social media. Like, these are all ways that we can help to make change and promote change, with, even if you're not somebody that is somebody that just wants to be out there, you know, on, you know, boots on the ground, you know. I mean... I think everybody help, no matter how it comes, is important. And so
I agree with what you're saying to an extent, and that's the beautiful thing about being able to do what we do, is because who wants to be on the show and agree with the host all the time? You can't.
Sure, we can agree to disagree. I mean, I
feel that I agree with your point on, you know, there's a lot of people out there who don't know what's going on and who are very afraid because the rabbit hole goes so deep it would shake you to your very soul essence.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, and I said this on the last show, when you get the knowledge that we give you, okay, you may not be a warrior, you may not be a warrior activist, you don't even have to be an activist. When you get the knowledge that we give you, empower yourself, keyword, empower yourself to empower other people. Because if you don't, we're just wasting our time. I'm just wasting 2 hours of my time right now. Because if any of you who are in the chat or who are listening right now, okay, if you can't physically get out and do it, fine. That's understandable to an extent. Then get a podcast, you know, or just get on Facebook and share in groups, or call your sister up and say, hey, listen, you know, this is what's going on. Maybe you ought to go to, you know, to a chemtrail protest, or maybe you ought to go to a UFO full disclosure protest, and really get into it. You know, you don't have to be an activist to hold a sign. You know what I'm saying? I mean, listen, we all can go to the check cashing store to cash our checks to get that money, can't we? Oh yeah, we can do that, right? We all can go ahead and walk ourselves down to that movie theater to watch that garbage they passed out. Oh yeah, we can do that, right? But we can't go down. And we can't go ahead and be free thinkers, and we can't go down to that protest to hold a sign? I don't know. Don't sound right to me. We don't have to be activists or warriors to hold a sign. But you know what? That sign that you made, just go down and hold a sign. I've been in lines with 200 people marching. You could be in the middle. No one would even see you. Just hold a sign. You don't have to be interviewed. So I agree to disagree. To those who are really, really, really bad off and really can't do anything, my heart is out to you. Absolutely, get a podcast or just share on Facebook. To some of these who are just you know, want to make excuses, well then, like I said, you know, we're in a state of reality right now where it's rough, and a lot of things are going bad, and you know, I'll leave it at that. You can take your ass down. You can take your ass down to cash a check, though, right? You can't take your ass down to hold a sign. Don't sound right. Don't sound right. But, hey, and again, you know, I'm not perfect. I'm not this esoteric guy. I mean, I speak what I've been through. When I first, as a matter of fact, I'll share my first experience. When I was exposed in CBS 3, my hands were shaking. I had a 3G camera phone. My hands were shaking. I was scared to death. But from that, you know, from that one moment, you know, it's like you're addicted to it. You're like, wow, that felt good. I felt like I could make a difference. And then, you know, you go from doing that to holding that sign, even if you're on crutches, even if you're a Vietnam veteran or an Iraqi veteran. You're scared, you know, and you don't want people to see you on Facebook. You don't want people to see you. Fine, you know, just get down there and hold the sign. Dress up as a bee. I've seen them do that. They dress up as bees in costumes, and they really, protest the Monsanto doing that because they're killing off all the bees. Albert Einstein said, "When the bees are gone, we're gone." 2 years after the bees are gone, we're gone. That's what Monsanto is doing.
I will say something though about a lot of the protests. I mean, we are getting a lot more people that are, you know, coming out to these protests, are, you know, making, you know, their voices be heard.
It feels
but I
great.
will also tell you that.
Good.
Okay, but the other side of it, though, is that it's also, you know, bred a lot of, all the frustration has bred a lot of aggression, a lot of, you know, violence at these different protests.
Well, then you're going to the wrong protest. I've never been to a protest that had any kind of violence. I've never, any Monsanto or chemtrail protest I've ever been to, and I've been to tons, have never had violence. The only protest that had violence was something like that Ferguson that just happened. Now that is something I would fully say stay away from. Okay, you know, we all know in our gut feeling what's good. If you any cop or anyone who's monitoring the protest, I've never seen any violence in most cities, in almost all over the country.
I hate to disagree on that one, but Renee can back this up. We've had you know, many very, very, you know, highly televised.
All right, so then that's fine. So then if we all go to a protest right now together and something pops off and jumps off, then you leave. You make it a point to walk away and leave.
Well,
but don't let that deter you from going to future protests. Just make sure you're weary of, number one, who's hosting them protests, because that has a lot to do with it. Okay, who's hosting the protest? What's their background in activism?
Well, that is very true. But I mean, there have been, you know, things that have been done here that have been very peaceful.
I know.
In fact, like what was it, Renee, last year at the university when they were doing the sit out or the sit in at the pepper spray, you know, with the pepper spray, and it went, you know, national news, and there was a big lawsuit and everything that came about it. But the thing is that because and you know, there's a lot of protesting that they do out here. It happens all the time. In fact, a Monsanto protest that they were doing and walk that they were doing for that, same thing. You know, you get these little bunches of, like, you know, groups of people that just want to go in and just, you know, they're not even have anything to do, I don't even think, with
they're just people protest. That want to go in and start trouble. See, the government also plants agents. They do that, and I've seen this in protests too. What they do is, I was at the MLK, Martin Luther King Day of Peace protest in Philadelphia last week, and they'll plant agents in there to, like, say, you know, the N-word or something like that, just to get everyone riled up, or they'll go up to a cop and curse a cop out, you know, on the side, just to kind of get the cop riled up. The government plants people to do that, but, you know, my message is, listen, we're doing what we do for change. We're dealing with parasites who don't want love vibration. We're dealing with parasites who don't want, like, free thinkers, and people that want non-compliance, non-violent protest and change. So you're going to have that. And again, this is how I said earlier that technology, iPhones and stuff like that, has kind of really taken us away from who we are, not only as Americans, but as individuals, spiritual beings, because this shit wouldn't happen 100 years from now. 100 years from now, if the government, if any of us would have tried to happen then, people would have quit their jobs, would have walked off their farms, and would have been out ready to demand, not ask, but to demand and manifest change. The problem now is that people are so comfortable with their PS3s and their Facebooks and their PS4s that it's kind of like, well, you know, I really want change, but I'm kind of comfortable and I don't want to lose my job, and I got my wife and she's pretty hot, and if I lose my job, she's not going to, you know, be with me anymore. And, you know, I don't know if I really want to do that. She's going to call me crazy. You know, so, well, you know, and if I go to a protest, it might be a little uncomfortable because people are going to be yelling and screaming. Yeah, they are going to be yelling and screaming. They are.
That's true. Or the other side is, you know, that they're, you know, they have children and, you know, they go to these protests and then something happens and they get arrested.
Well, don't take the children right away. Don't take the children right away. Go by yourself right away. Get your feet wet. Get your feet wet.
Oh, no, but I'm just saying, I mean, they were having things like where protesters, you know, like they were being arrested, and then, you know, like CPS was, you know, all the governmental agencies were getting involved with these activists saying, well, what kind of parents are you if you're doing this? And I mean, it's like, and a lot of people, you know, it is more of a fear tactic to keep people, you know, from participating.
You know, Mahatma Gandhi said it. I hope I pronounced his name right. He said it the best. The enemy isn't hate. The enemy is fear. Thus, what you just said, fear. That's fear of CPS. That's fear of getting beat. That's fear of losing my job. That's fear of my wife leaving me. That's fear of this. My fear of fear. We live in an illusional reality where we are controlled by parasites, and they control us by what? Fear. You understand?
You know, yeah, there's a point there too, because when you
absolutely.
When you see, like, you know, when there's a protest going on, and you have the riot cops with their riot gear on, and they have these big shields, and what do? They stand in a big line, and then what they do is they bang on it with their billy clubs on their shield, and that's to create a fear to get
subconsciously creating that fear. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, and one of the things, and I'll let you go, Christina, in a minute, please. I'm sorry to cut you off. One of the things that really boiled my blood, pissed me off, was, you know, when we have activists and, you know, you see a woman getting thrown on the ground by 4 cops, there's 8 cops literally patrolling the whole thing, and there's like 50 activists. And they do nothing. They stand in a circle while this woman gets taken down by cops. Oh, no. Luckily, that hasn't happened when I was around. But I've seen it on YouTube. I've seen it.
Yeah.
When I was around, we never got to that extreme, but I've seen it. And the thing that really boils my blood is that fear mentality. Oh, we better not do nothing. Let them go. No, let me tell you something. If I'm in a protest and someone's getting, that cop's gonna get kicked in the face. I'm gonna get on that megaphone and be like, hey, look, everyone, we outnumber them. Grab her. You will not take a low vibrational being from us and think your ass is going to. No. That's when the lunatic's gonna come. That's when the light switch is gonna click. And I'm gonna damn sure make it quick for everyone, because when we come in a non-compliance, peaceful way, if you put your hands on any of us, no, we're gonna. Even if you don't hurt the officer, grab her and pull her away, and stand in front of her 50 strong, and I guarantee they'll back off. And that, again, brings the fear mentality. And when we talk about the consciousness, we talk about how humanity has been dumbed down through water, through air, through our food. We've been poisoned. Our pineal gland, you guys meditate, so you know. Our pineal gland has been stripped, and it decays the pineal gland because of the fluoride. So therefore, their mind control BS, fear manipulating tactics work. Makes our job a little harder, but it doesn't mean it's not impossible.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That tactic that they use, I mentioned about banging on their shield to create that loud noise and to intimidate. Now, if you look back in history of all the major armies that we have around the world, even with the North Nazis, when they march, they purposely stomp their feet to create that heavy marching sound to intimidate anyone watching that, that you don't want to mess with us, So that's a very powerful tactic. They do that in China. They have it in other.
They've done that thousands of years ago with the Vikings, if you remember correctly. Yeah. Remember how they used to have the right? They used to bang their shields with the swords.
Right. And
paint their faces.
The Romans did the same thing. So they do all this to create this intimidation, to create fear.
So what does that make our police? Does that make our police the army? Does that make our police a fear-based army within itself, or what?
Well, that's what it's kind of happened. I mean, and that's where they've done it with control. And the thing that was interesting is that a couple of years ago, I had met this in 2012. I had met Doug Miller, who is a really big activist out here in the Bay Area. And
I've got to get down to the Bay. I've got to get to California. I really do.
Yeah.
There's so many of you that I have to meet, but go ahead.
He's a real big activist as far as with Bohemian Grove and against Thomas Aquino, who was, the satanic cult leader out there in the Presidio, who, was doing child sacrifices and all this kind of stuff, and nothing ever happened to him. And he got off. So, Doug actually goes out and he protests at Bohemian Grove every year, and pretty much anywhere where Thomas Aquino is known to show up. And so he's 75 years old at this, or 78 at this point. And so 2 years ago, I had met him, and he said, "I'd really like you to come out there with us." So I was set up to go to Bohemian Grove. I started driving out there, and my car broke down before I went over the bridge to San Francisco. And I just had like the worst feeling the whole day. The night before I went, I had this dream that we were at the protest, and that the police were all lined up, and that they attacked him, and that we went to go help him, and that the police attacked all of us and arrested us and beat us up and all this kind of stuff. And it really kind of had me shook, because being a psychic, certain things that I get, especially when I have precog dreams.
Well, you're a psychic. What do you see for the future of America? We don't even want to go there. No, let's get into this. So we got 20 minutes left, half an hour. You're a psychic. You can do remote viewing. What do you see?
Well, I don't do remote viewing at all, but I do get precog visions. And
well, what do you see for the future? 5 years.
I hate to say.
Have you had any visions?
Oh yeah, I've had plenty.
Can you share that?
The thing is that none of them are good.
None of them are low vibrational.
No, and it's sad, because I feel like we're making such progress, but I see a lot of fear-based things that are going to happen, which are a lot of them are going to be natural disasters, but that are not natural, that are going to be very well planned and
Yellowstone, maybe
orchestrated.
The Yellowstone going off with HAARP actually.
I'm definitely worried about Stone and have been for a while. I watch actually.
Well, the buffalo ran out off of there. What was it, last summer?
Well, even more recent is now they're having black steam coming out of the guys instead of the white.
Shit. Man, all I have to say is, again, look,
definitely not a good sign.
I'm so humbled to be on the show. I'm so humbled to be a part of what's going on in this reality right now. And I just want to thank you all for having me on. And I want to thank everyone who's listening, because, no matter how bad it seems, just hug the ones you love as much as possible. No matter how aggravated you get at your family members, no matter how aggravated you get at your friends or your coworkers, pump out low vibration. And I have to say this. Mm-hmm. I want to say this because we all know a potential outcome, whether it be naturally or not naturally. And I just want to say that, again, I'm really humbled for being on, and it's frightening. Well, not frightening, but it's heartbreaking.
Well, you know what? I think, this is one of the biggest issues with the human race, is that we have been, programmed and just brainwashed to be afraid of everything, especially what we don't understand. And we are definitely afraid of dying. I talk to people all the time, that's their biggest fear, is dying. And not, and some will say, because they're afraid they might suffer, but most of them, it's because the fear, they don't know know, what's going to happen and where
go.
they're going to go. You know, they believe in, you know, whatever, you know, religion they've been brought up, or without religion, whatever they've been brought up. Now that we're in a time where there is so much information out there that people are starting to think for themselves opposed to, you know, going along with the collective, that it's starting to really make people, you know, think and question really everything that's going on. But it's also causing people, you know, so much more chaos now, because it's like, okay, if I believe this, you know, all my life, then, you know, what if that's not the case?
Right. Jesus will come down. Jesus or Jehovah will come down and save me. You know, and I speak freely on religion. Unless I'm at a bar. If I'm at a bar, or at a restaurant, don't come at me with politics or religion. I won't talk to you. But but on a show, you know, so many people think that God, or you know, that you have to get on your knees to repent. And I you know, in my own personal belief, I just get on my knees, huh? You know, I have my own views on religion. I think that you know, the people are very, again, they're brought up and raised into that. People feel comfortable thinking there's a higher power to protect them, and that is one of the reasons why I like to push, you know, self-empowerment, because I think that that's one of the things that has been lost. To understand that we are all godlike beings. We all, especially if you meditate, you understand this. We all have godliness and energy in us, and you know, we are all universal. And I think that, is there a God? Absolutely. There is a divine creator of everything. From being abducted, one thing that, especially if I'm talking to other people who've been abducted, I hear this over and over again, and I've heard this myself. We are all one with all that is one, is what they call it, the other dimension, the other beings. We are all one with all that is one. And it's so beautiful when you hear that, you know, and that's what I believe. That's my religion is love. You know, my religion is we're all one. You know, and we're just conditioned. So when we can break through the conditioning and break through the ego and break through the me mentality and eliminate the psychopaths that are, you know, in this reality, then you know, we can create a utopia of oneness. Thus says what I just said. We are all one with all that is one. You know. Yeah, but what do you guys think?
Go ahead, Renee.
Because, you know, I was just saying that, you know, with other beings out there, they are all one, you know, and of course, us as all beings have a free will, and of course, there's going to be good and bad in all life, you know, just how we perceive and how we act on things and how we handle things, you know, based on our, you know, personal lives and group or wherever we came from. There are those who chose to, you know, rebel against the one and basically come to other world to create chaos and confusion and disinformation and distrust. And so now we're just dealing with the mess of it all. And now mankind is exactly the same format that it's fallen under. And so that creates this whole distrust, fear. I mean, people, you know, you think people feel fear about aliens stuff coming to Earth. They're having trouble trying to face the fears of going to that country over there because they're having that issue over there, or going down that neighborhood because they're a different color because they're afraid I'm going to get jumped. You know, things like that. You know, so we have this whole mass of fear, and the, like you call the parasites, arranged all that to create that chaos.
Well, right. That's how they're able to control it. You know, control the masses. That's what I said all along. That if, you know, some major, you know, catastrophe happens, because again, here we've got these FEMA camps, and the government is trying to push these FEMA camps as family reunification centers. So if there was a, you know, anywhere in the world, you know, in the U.S., if there was a major, you know, natural disaster or some bad thing happened, that everybody would be able to run to these locations. Now, we talked about this, Renee and I have talked about this on the show before, but my opinion is what's going to happen is, they either through HARP or something will create a very big natural disaster. It will trigger it, which will trigger a whole bunch of other things that will, happen simultaneously, and there will be a lot of chaos. And so even though the FEMA camps have been, brought to the light in documentaries and all over the internet and info everywhere you look, even though people know about these locations, what they're going to do is they are going to take our children from the schools and they are going to bus them to these locations. So even if we would not normally take ourselves to a FEMA camp to go and trust the government that they're going to reunify us all with our family, if they have our children, our families, these parents are going to go to these locations and go to find their kids and be, put in there and kept in there. And that's the way it's going to be. I mean, it's going to be complete chaos, and people are going to be afraid. As much as you see, all the governmental warnings of, preparedness and all this kind of stuff, even if they have all this, people don't do it. They always think it's not going to happen to them.
Yeah,
and when we talk about everything that's happening right in front of our faces, people see it, they hear it, they understand it, they just don't want to believe that it'll happen to them.
That's right.
I always hear people say, I would hate to live on the West Coast because, that if anything bad happens, that's where it's going to happen at,
That's not true. Hey, listen, the biggest threat is New York City and the East Coast.
That's right.
That's right. It's not going to happen on the West. And in 2 weeks, believe it or not, no, not even 2 weeks. Well, yeah, maybe 2.5 weeks. I'm buying 100 gallons of water. I got a big storage in the basement. I'm going to buy 100 gallons of water. I usually do about 400 a month food shopping, but I'm going to cut that down to 3, and I'm going to spend an extra 100, on food that can last years and years, like canned fish or stuff you can get from Walmart. Matter of fact, let me look at my shelf right here. I got this. It's called Asian Sides Chicken Flavored Fried Rice. It's by Knorr. It's also called is it Knorr? It's called Knorr, but it's like this really dry rice with the seasoning. Let the shelf life
right.
15 years. So I'm literally gonna give advice to people. Arm yourself, okay? Make sure the main thing you want to have is water and protection, and make sure that you have food that can last you years. I mean, because if the shit hits the fan, the one guy from the FBI report that I have read was, he said, the shit's going to hit the fan, and when it does, you're going to need to be able to at least, if you can't prove to the government that you can sustain yourself for 3 or 4 months, they will put you in a rehabilitation center. So you better make sure that you have enough food and water for 4 months. If you don't, you're going to be the property of the government. That's if they don't come to your house, see that you're armed and have your food, and decide, hey, well, guess what? We're taking your shit, and you're coming with us. So you never know. I have a friend that I grew up with who lived in Philadelphia. He's a cop now. He has a underground bunker in Pennsylvania. He was a police officer, okay? I'm not going to say his name. I met a cop at Wawa one night. I was coming home, and he's like, dude, I heard this shit about the chemtrails. It's all real. We're not all evil. We're not all bad. When the shit hits the fan, we will be protecting our families because, we're not going to be out patrolling, coming to your door and kicking your door, and you have to worry about NATO. He's like, NATO is the threat, not us. He's like, because he's like, NATO is going to be the one, the Russian troops and the Chinese troops and all this and all that. Who do you think FEMA is organized with NATO? So he's like, they're going to be the ones. He's like, it's not going to be us because who the hell is going to be protecting my family while I'm trying to destroy yours?
Right.
So the
well, the thing is, they had actually put out, a questionnaire to many is the people in the military, years ago, asking them that if, they were given, because, when they take that oath is, to follow whatever orders are given to them.
Foreign or domestic threat.
Right.
Right.
And do not question that.
Well,
it's not a matter
of questioning it. They're going to stage the event when they deploy enough of our troops overseas, especially the National Guard. Because I was in the National Guard. we're going to have enough of us overseas to where when the crap hits the fan, they're already deployed, okay? And then they're going to say, well, we don't have enough troops here to keep order. NATO, come in and take care of shit.
You know, I don't even know that it'll be I mean, they've already been preparing for this for a long time. And they've already, you know, like I said, they put out this questionnaire to our military, and they were saying that the majority of the military that was enlisted said that they would not be able to, you know, if they were given the order to kill, you know, U.S. citizens, and they said they wouldn't. And so right away they started, you know, bringing all the foreign troops and training them and teaching them English. And I mean, the thing that was so bad about it is this shit was going on right underneath our noses at malls around the, you know, states, and you know, and people weren't even understanding that, except for there were a lot of people just like, you know, you out there with their video cameras, and you know, none of these people spoke English, but we were training them and working with them and all this kind of stuff. So absolutely, they're going to be, when something happens, and if they have to start rounding people up, they are not going to use our own citizens. They're going, just like would they use our troops to go into the Middle East and go and
that's
you
right,
know,
that's right. When there's civil rights, and everybody needs to hear this shit, because when there's civil rights,
they take the women and children, and they do all of that. You know, we don't hear anything about, you know, anything from that. So it's going to be the exact same way, you know, here.
Yeah.
So.
They already got.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, they already got you know, vehicles, UN vehicles in various parts of the country. They're already stopped.
Can you say that a little louder, my friend? I didn't hear what you said. Can you say that louder? UN vehicles. Say that louder.
They have UN vehicles placed in various parts already, ready for deployment in this country.
Right.
They're already here, so they already got them all set.
They're already here.
And they got the tanks already to go, so. You know, people have been seeing tanks on trains and stuff. You think they're doing that just for...
We've been seeing them FEMA coffins on trains too. How about that? And when we seen them in Alabama, they moved them from Alabama as soon as they started videoing them.
Yeah. Well, right, and look at all the videos that got put up on the internet from all over the country, all over the U.S. Of all of the railroads with all of the vehicles and stuff being, you know, brought on the tankers and stuff. I got them even over here in Sacramento. We've got a big hub, you know, and we got it, you know, on there. And people were getting them all over the place. And not only that, the big convoys, you know, going through, you know, the different states. And, you know, usually late at night when there's not a whole lot of people paying attention or things like that.
It's between 2 and 6 in the, well, I think it was between 2 and 5 in the morning to do it.
Right. I remember when there was this, one video went viral out in Los Angeles area, and they had something that was kind of like UFO shaped, and they had all this, you know, police escorts and all this kind of stuff, and it was like, you know, 4:30 or 5 in the morning, and they were taking it down the middle of the freeway and had it all covered up. But obviously, you know, you cover up the shape, it still, you know, was a saucer-like.
Right. Well, I don't even refer to this term. I don't like the term UFO because they're not unidentified.
Because they're not unidentified, correct?
Right. We have reverse engineered and dark matter technology for years now. But Phil Schneider said it the best. We've made an agreement with, well, we didn't. The parasite made an agreement where, hey, look, we will make you, your families, and your families become kings and queens. Just knock off 90% of them. Okay? Knock off 90% of them. Make the rest slaves. Let us reign, and we will make you kings.
Well, and you figure by, you know...
look at the Georgia Guidestones. Again, it's there. Look at the other things. It's there.
Well, and you figure you knock off a bunch of, you know, you geoengineer, you know, our food. You know, you poison that. You start giving that's going to kill off a lot of people. You know, for those that survive that, you know, they round them up and, you know, put them in camps and, you know, turn them into... I mean, it's nothing different than, you know, back, you know, in Nazi Germany. I mean, it's in rounding people up. I mean, people think that this isn't... History isn't going to repeat itself.
This ain't no damn joke, people. Listen, this ain't no damn joke.
They need to pay attention. Now, I will say that when we were talking about, you know... my visions, predictions, and what I see. Right. You know, I do see a lot of chaos coming. I absolutely do. But I will say that I do feel that out even further, that people will come through this. I mean, there will be people that will be okay. They'll rebuild. They'll, you know.
Well, I mean, that just shows the difference. that just shows the difference between parasites and love. I mean, the indomitable, non-breakable will of love vibration. I mean, they'll beat us down and beat us down and beat us down and beat us down. But we have to understand that we all operate on an energy level. So, you know, once we stop feeding them,
right.
when I say feeding them, I mean energy-wise.
Energy.
Right. Once we stop feeding these suckers, then what will happen is they have no food source, because they feed off of chaos, they feed off of torture, they feed off of negativity. So they're going to create a huge chaotic event maybe, and then people are just going to be like, you know what, you've taken every fucking thing from me. What can you take from me now? There's nothing to take. And they're going to unite, and hopefully when that happens, we have our utopia. And, again, it's a blessing, and to be able to be doing this. Do you realize how lucky we are to be able to do this right now? Do you ever sit back and, off air and say to yourself, wow, I am contributing to something, regardless if they take me and cut my throat in front of me if they have or not, it's like, yeah, we're not zombies. We're not people that are working at Walmart that know nothing, that just want to say, Obama, I love you, or thank you, That's okay. It's okay that you slaughtered this, or with the government that you've done that. I love you anyway. We're awakened ones. We're children. We're star children. We're children of enlightened ones. We're enlightened. It's just no matter what they do, it's just a blessing to be able to be here. Not a day that goes by that I don't think that. Not a day that doesn't go by that I'm just not grateful for this.
Well, that's true, and that's what people have to remember, and that's the biggest thing is we have to keep,
Sure. I know some nasty shit's gonna come my way. I know it, I see it. But you know what? When it comes, it comes. But this is real. This is reality, and when we look at the fact that pretty much when I was enrolled in the National Guard for a little time, they were letting people who couldn't even speak English. The guy couldn't even speak English. Drill sergeants like English. They don't care. They don't care. And what's happening now is that they're creating such a hate for America. Dancing with the Stars and other countries that are peaceful, that want love vibration, are looking at us like we're Satan. Well, we're not, but the ones who are running us are. And they're creating such a hate for America, such a disgust for us as a people, that these foreign troops that come in, they're gonna, after every American they kill, they're gonna have a badge. Like, yeah, these assholes. For everyone you shoot, guess what? You're shooting the devil. You're shooting these parasites, and that's their. See, that's the trick. In order to break our freedoms down, in order to break our love vibration as being a free society, that these parasites made us out to be such an evil country that when UN does come in, we're going to be looked at as like, yeah, guess what? You're big USA. We're going to bust a cap in your asses and throw you in these camps. And they're going to love it because they're conditioned too. That's what's happening right now. That's the truth.
Right. Well, all right, we got about 8 minutes left. So now, if people are wanting to find your channel on YouTube or want to get a hold of you or are interested in getting more information on how they can, get out there and help the cause, where can they reach you at?
Honestly, this is the first time I'm going to do this. I'm not going to give my YouTube. I'm not going to give my website. I don't want anyone even looking me up on my YouTube. All I have to say is you want to help the cause, empower. Listen to what we said tonight, okay? Listen to everything that me, Christine, and what's his name again?
Renee
said tonight, and just empower yourself. Empower yourself to take what we gave you and give it to other people. If you want to find me, feel free to find me through Christina or Renee, and I just. That's all I have to say. This show really isn't about me. It's not about my YouTube. It's not about getting subs. It's just about you guys. And thanks for everyone who is either on the chat or listening.
Absolutely. Well, again, it's you put out a lot of really good, informational videos and a lot of stuff that comes through there. I always find it very interesting. So I think that, although yes, it's not about, all about us, the more people that, see this stuff, the more people who share our work, that's how it touches people. So that's why I feel like it's so important.
I'm just in a very humble mood right now, and again, I'm very grounded and humble tonight to be on the show tonight. If you want to find anything about what I do, please contact Christina, and that's just how I feel. It's not hard to do, guys. Just look up Christina, send her a message. My question is, where can someone download the show from? Other than
it's
watching?
Actually on Spreaker, so
Right. Can you download that, or is it just listen?
Yes. Hope you can download it.
Okay. So I can download this and send it to other people.